Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Academy of Ham Radio, Vijayawada. I am Ramesh Babu Arja, amateur radio call sign Victor Uniform 2 Romeo Delta Mike or simply VU2 RDM. Today I am going to explain some of the most important fundamentals of amateur radio. Whether you are preparing for the amateur radio examination or you have recently obtained your license, these are the basic rules and operating procedures that every amateur radio operator should know. So let us begin. What is amateur radio? First of all, let us understand the meaning of amateur service. Amateur service is a radio communication service meant for self-learning, technical investigation and communication between licensed amateur radio operators. It is a service carried out by persons who are genuinely interested in radio technology solely for personal interest and not for any commercial or financial gain. In simple words, amateur radio is a hobby, a learning platform, and a public service, all combined into one. What is an amateur station? Now, let us understand what is an amateur station is. An amateur station is a radio station that is officially licensed to transmit and receive signals within the frequency bands allocated for amateur radio. An amateur station can communicate only with other licensed amateur radio stations. All communications should be clear, brief, and in plain language. Remember, we should never occupy the frequency unnecessarily. Amateur radio during emergencies. One of the greatest strengths of amateur radio is emergency communication. Whenever normal communication systems fail during earthquakes, cyclones, floods, tsunamis, landslides, or widespread fires, amateur radio operators can provide emergency communication support during such situations. Licensed operators may pass important messages on behalf of the competent civil authorities such as the district magistrate, deputy commissioner, or any other officer authorized by the government. That is why amateur radio is often called the communication system that works when everything else fails. What information can we exchange? Now let us see what type of information can be exchanged over amateur radio. We may discuss technical matters related to radio communication, equipment, antennas, propagation, experiments, signal reports, and operating practices. We may also have friendly personal conversations with other licensed amateur radio operators. We may also have friendly personal conversations with other licensed amateur radio operators. And during emergencies, we may exchange emergency related information as permitted under the rules. What information is prohibited? Now, this is very important. Certain types of communication are strictly prohibited. We should never use amateur radio for business purposes or commercial activities. We should never transmit messages for financial gain. We should never broadcast music or entertainment programs. We should never use offensive, indecent, or abusive language. We should never transmit messages that promote hatred or create communal, racial, or religious disharmony. And except where specifically permitted, we should not pass messages on behalf of third parties. Always remember, amateur radio is a service, not a commercial communication system. What is a call sign? Now let us understand the importance of a call sign. Every licensed amateur radio station is assigned a unique identification. This identification is known as the call sign. A call sign normally consists of 5 or 6 characters. The first part indicates the country. The remaining letters identify the individual operator. For example, my call sign is VU2 RDM. The prefix VU2 represents India. In India, call signs beginning with VU2 RDM. In India, call signs beginning with VU2 are issued to general grade license holders. Call signs beginning with VU3 are generally issued to restricted grade license holders. Every call sign is unique, just like your Aadhaar number or your vehicle registration number. Your call sign uniquely identifies you on the air. Why is a call sign important? A call sign services several purposes. A call sign serves several purposes. It identifies the operator, it identifies the country, it helps maintain proper operating discipline, it enables other stations to know who is transmitting, and during Morse code communication, a call sign conveys maximum information within a very short time. That is why every transmission should begin and end with your call sign. Secrecy of correspondence. Another important subject is secrecy of correspondence. Sometimes, while tuning across frequencies, you may accidentally hear communications that are not meant for you. In such cases, you must never disclose, copy, record, or use that information. Even revealing that such communication was heard is also the rules. Every amateur radio operator must respect confidentiality. Every amateur radio operator must respect confidentiality. This is both an ethical responsibility and a legal obligation. How to establish contact? Now let us learn the correct procedure for establishing communication. Suppose another station is calling CQ, CQ, CQ. Wait until the station finishes calling, then reply by saying the other station's call sign followed by this is, and then your own call sign. For example, VU2 Alpha Bravo Charlie. This is VU2 Romeo Delta Mike. If two stations are already talking, don't interrupt unnecessarily. Wait patiently. If you need to join, announce your call sign only at the end of your transmission and speak only after you are invited. Now, suppose if you want to call any station, then transmit CQ, CQ, CQ for about 1 minute. Then say, this is VU2 RDM. If nobody answers, repeat the procedure, but don't continue calling for more than 3 minutes continuously. After that, listen carefully before calling again. Good operating procedure, good operating practice is just as important as good technical knowledge. Use the International Phonetic Alphabet. During voice communication, always pronounce your call sign using the International Phonetic Alphabet. For example, VO2 RDM should be spoken as Victor Uniform 2 Romeo Delta Mike. Using phonetic words avoids confusion, especially when signals are weak or noisy. Conclusion. Friends, amateur radio is much more than a hobby. It is a service that promotes learning, technical experimentation, international friendship, and emergency communication. As licensed operators, we must always operate responsibly, follow the rules, respect operating ethics, use proper procedures, and be ready to serve society whenever communication is needed. Remember this simple message: operate legally, communicate clearly, serve society responsibly. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe to the Academy of Ham Radio YouTube channel. Also, press the notification bell so that you never miss our upcoming videos on amateur radio. Thank you.